think you know by now how last night turned out. Here's Mitt Romney in his own words.
I so wish that I had been able to fulfill your hopes to lead the country in a different direction, but the nation chose another leader, and so Ann and I join with you to earnestly pray for him and for this great nation.
I'm not going to have a meltdown over the election results. I mean, I got up this morning and had a cup of coffee like it was any other day. The difference between this program, and let me speak for the network for a second, and everything that's on MSNBC is that we were not emotionally or personally invested in Mitt Romney. We didn't coordinate with the Romney campaign to come up with cool, similar slogans like forward and lean forward, only to lace them into our content as talking points. Our mental well-being isn't tied to a candidate or a president. No matter what happened last night, there wasn't going to be a thrill up my leg. In the fight between free stuff and freedom, it's clear. Free stuff won. So, welcome to socialism. Now, this is the part of it that makes me sick. If you think you're owed something tangible, or you think somebody else is owed something simply because you or they exist and somebody else must provide it, if you believe that the government is better than the marketplace, if you really believe in a state of dependence on government rather than independence, and you refuse to call it socialism, you'd rather attack people for being racist. You're intellectually bankrupt. You're worse than a pseudo-intellectual because you have no intellect at all. I don't care if you've got a TV show. Now that Obama has won re-election, maybe it's time for Hallmark or American Greetings to produce a thank you card that the recipient can send to the provider for all the free stuff they're going to get. Not really, because remember, being entitled means you don't ever have to say thank you to the provider. You thank government. Liberty is more than a freedom to engage in whatever sexual behavior floats your boat. Let's define liberty. It's the maximum absence of coercion. Holding my copy of Common Sense and Rights of Man, it was Thomas Paine who wrote in Common Sense, some writers have so confounded society with government as to leave little or no distinction between them, whereas they are not only different, but have different origins. Society is produced by our wants, and government by our wickedness. The former promotes our happiness positively by uniting our affections. The latter negatively by restraining our vices. The one encourages intercourse, the other creates distinctions. The first is a patron, the last a punisher. So, who in America is socialist? Is anybody for socialism? Nobody's for socialism? According to Pew Research, young people are more positive about socialism and more negative about capitalism than older Americans. Among those younger than 30, overall, 29% say they have a positive reaction to the word socialism, while 59% react negatively. You would think there was an overwhelming positive reaction towards capitalism, but the reality is the results are somewhat mixed. Slightly more than half react positively to the word capitalism compared to 37% who say they have a negative reaction. Imagine if this were directly applied to young voters, like if a government worker walked over and grabbed that iPod and said, "Hey kid, sorry, it's not an iPod anymore, it's a WePod. Now, get in line, fill out this form, and then you can listen to some music when it's your turn, and don't worry, we've already selected your songs." JC. Or why not try not working into any college classroom and explain that, well, we're going to do exactly what your professor just said. We're going to treat grades like that dirty money, and they'll be distributed from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs. It's clear from the exit poll that Obama registered this socialist mindset group by winning the youth vote. According to Edison Research, Obama captured 60% of the young voters in the 18 to 29 range. So those college students that did go out and vote clearly played a role in the president's victory.